We are live. What is going on, everyone? Chris with Journals, Comics, and Pop Culture. I made it a couple minutes late. I do apologize. We have a show tonight, man. I'm not going to make excuses, but I'm just going to be real with you guys. It has been a crazy week for me, a crazy day for me. I want to say what's up to everyone that's here already. Louis Logics, Dan, Adam, Brandon, Johnny, Shadow Rat, Ohio, Wild Child, Peter, ABZ says, good morning. Yeah, it is bright and early over there. Wow. Thank you for being here. Man, so a really exciting show tonight. Just another controversial topic that I did a video about a couple days ago. I felt the need to come here and continue to discuss it with you all. And that's the state of the LCS and certain protocol that we are seeing more and more prevalent among LCSs. Right now, I had a lot planned. I was going to take notes and all this stuff. I wasn't able to do that. Both of my sons' birthdays were this week. They are only 4 days apart. Yesterday was my oldest. And on top of a lot of other personal stuff, I was just getting back into town this week after being out of town last week. So I apologize. I don't have everything together that I wanted for this live stream, but it's still going to be great. We're still going to dive deep into this topic, and we're going to get our critical thinking wheels spinning today. That's for sure. I also had a package that I wanted to unbox with you all. I'm going to save that for next week. Really excited to show that off. I think, what's going on, Anthony? Jay Ward, Swaggle, E-Dub, EW. Right on. So thank you, EW. Thank you. They are, man, crazy teenagers. It's getting crazy. Ali. What is going on, everyone? All right. So I do want a few announcements. We're going to let some more folks get in here over the next couple of minutes. A few announcements about we're already halfway through July. Just absolutely nuts, right? So I said I'd be doing my next Patreon member contest and YouTube channel member contest at the end of July. So let me talk about those two things really quick while we let some more folks come in. Kaya B, Johnny, Joshua. All right, so Patreon members. And again, if any of you are interested in becoming a Patreon member of the channel, that link is below. It's only $3.99 a month. You get extra perks, early access, and automatic entry into all my Patreon-only contests, as well as extra entries into my YouTube contest. Now, remember, I said we're going to have a contest for Patreon members at the end of July. If we hit 40 members, I'd be giving away this Tales, A Tour Astonish 91 8.0 White Pages, CGC, first cover of Abomination, second appearance. It's been hot. 90, 91 have been hot right now. And I don't think we're going to get there. I don't think we're going to get to 40. So this is going to probably be pushed off to the next contest, but it will be available. I'm telling you guys real soon. It looks like we are going to be giving away the Daredevil 181 Death of Elektra, and I will be throwing in a couple other comic books with this as well, regardless. So anybody who signs up to become a Patreon member by the end of the month will be entered in to that contest. If we do hit 40, though, we're going to be giving this bad boy away. But not too sure that's going to happen. We just have a couple weeks. We shall see. YouTube channel members. Oh, speaking of new members, Comic Toby. Thank you so much for joining as a YouTube member. I will be giving away at the end of the month for my YouTube members, which is only $1.99 a month, folks. It's just half the cost of the Patreon membership. You still get early access perks, different perks as well. If you click the join button below, you'll see everything that you get there. You get entries, extra entries into my YouTube contest. And of course, I do have random members only contests. I'll be giving away this Last Ronin #3, as well as a couple other books that I'll throw in with that as well. So that's going to be at the end of the month. And I wanted to just say thank you to all my members, YouTube members and Patreon members. I truly appreciate you guys for supporting me every single month to help me continue to do this day in and day out. 7 days a week. 7 days a week. Moonlit, thank you for hanging out. Let's see. Let's talk about an 8,000 subscriber contest, shall we? We're almost there. We're only like a couple hundred subscribers away. I will be doing an 8,000 subscriber contest. It won't be huge. It won't be huge, but it'll be fun. It'll be something, and it'll be very, very easy to enter. Most likely, you'll just have to be subscribed to me, obviously. I don't have the details of what that giveaway is going to look like at this point in time, but fingers crossed that we get there real soon. Now, on top of giving something away when we hit 8K, once I hit 8,000, I'm going to officially announce my 10,000 subscriber contest. I have talked about some of the prizes that I will be giving away for my 10,000 subscriber contest. It's going to be massive. We already have a handful of sponsors on board for that contest. I cannot wait. I hope we get there over the next few months. So we shall see. Let's see. Tricky. What's going on, Tricky? Joe. All right. Yeah, talking about the subject. Let's see. Before we get into the topic of discussion tonight, as always, it's Friday. I'm not just here Friday Night Live. I'm over Comic Book Canon after the show every Friday. If you are not tuned in to Comic Book Canon, myself, my co-host Jeff, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, every single Friday night. Our Comic Book Canon link is below. We have a hot show tonight. We're talking Loki. We are talking Black Widow. We got some DC news as well, and we got an amazing special guest. Spinetix will be in the house, so Sit Lordly will be joining us. You all have to, hang out with us on the Canon as soon as we are done here on Friday Night Live. So, with that being said, I think that's pretty much it. How about I show this off one more time? I picked this up. I did an unboxing of it. Avengers number 10. That's all I'll say about that. Oh, man. Ranger Class 101. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for becoming a member of the channel. You will be entered to win this awesome Last Ronin number 3, as well as a couple other books that I will throw in. That will be happening in a couple weeks at the end of the month. Okay. Oh, one last thing before we get into the subject at hand for tonight's show. Journos Comics official merch is available. That link is below as well. It's a great way to help support the channel and get yourself some fresh gear to rock. I'm rocking the purple long sleeve with the Purple Kings beanie. I love purple. Purple is one of my favorite colors. So definitely check out the link below to my merch. I got some new designs coming. I've been saying that for like a couple months now, but I promise you guys. Oh, Comic Toby. I just sent a super chat. Thank you so much. What do you say? Comic Toby says, I can't read and enjoy my book unless I smoke a little. That is why they call me 420. Also, because I would sell grams for 20. Comic Toby, I appreciate your honesty there. I dig it. I dig it. Look, I'm a square at this stage of my life. I had a crazy childhood in the teenage years. I haven't had a drink in 8 years? I haven't had a drink in 8 years. I haven't smoked herb in many years as well. But I will say, when I used to make music, I used to love, smoking a little herb and letting the creative process flow. So if that's what helps you get into your comic books, I'm absolutely for it. Thank you so much for sharing that. And thank you so much for the super chat. All right. Yep, Joe. Yep. Totally. Yeah, I'm in California, so no shame here. All right, everyone. Bear with me today because my allergies are something right now. I don't know if you all can hear. My throat and my voice is a little coarse right now. And you all probably know me. You watch my channel. I get into my discussions. Vinny, what's going on, Vinny? Brandon, San Diego. Okay, so bear with me if I'm talking a little calmer than normal, than usual, or if I'm taking a little longer to get something out. Just go with the flow. We are still going to talk about this awesome topic tonight. So this is what we're going to do. I don't have notes, but I am going to bring up on screen some comments from the video that I dropped just a few days ago. CK, what's going on? Mark, I think I said what's up to you, Mark. Anyways, just trying to get to all the folks in the chat tonight. I'm going to bring up that video and we're going to go through the comments and we're going to dissect and analyze. All right. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about this image that went viral, and I'm going to bring it on screen pertaining to LCSs and how they're managing their shops. So we are going to share screen here. Let's see. Nope. I want this one. There we go. Share. All right, everyone. This was the image that went viral earlier this week. And I'm just going to read it to you all for those that aren't aware. It says, due to the nature of the speculators market, we reserve the right to check and reprice any and all back issues according to current going value. All right. So we're going to dissect this in a few ways. But first, and I mentioned this in my video, the first thing I like to do whenever I see an image being shared on social media or the internet is I question the validity of it. Anybody can Photoshop stuff these days and doctor stuff. You could do it with simple apps that you download on your phone. You don't even need a Photoshop program, right? So the first thing I said, as I said, use your head and say that, well, you know, maybe this is Photoshop, but even if it is, I know that shops do this. I absolutely know the shops do this. There's a shop in my area that does it. And I did a video not too long ago. What was it? Maybe a month and a half, 2 months ago now, where I did the video about the LCS, losing my business for life. Because I dug up a beat up reader copy of one of the Vision and Scarlet Witch miniseries books. It wasn't even one of the keys. It was very beat up, and it was in the dollar bins. And I bring it up, and he's like, "Yeah, I gotta charge you $5 for that. You still want it?" I said, "I'm good." And I was like, "Nope." So this obviously happens, and I went into it. I went into discussing what my personal views were. All right. Now there's a few layers to this that Flicks. What's going on, JoJo? There's a few layers to this that I want to discuss before I start going into the comments. Serge, what's going on, Serge? Basically, it's this. There's a few things going on here, okay, that we need to break apart. One is price or books being out on the sales floor and not being priced. And then waiting for the customers to look through the books, grab a few books that aren't priced, and then you bring them up to the counter and you say, "Hey, I'm interested in getting these books." And then the shop owner or manager, whoever, takes the books, goes on the internet, checks eBay sold or whatever they're doing, and prices the books for you. That's one thing, right? Another thing is the books are priced. You take it up, you're like, "Oh, $24 for this book. Cool." You bring it up to the counter like, "Oh, you know what? This book is hot right now. Yeah, 24. Nah, I gotta charge you $40 for that." That's what this sign is saying as well. We reserve the right to adjust the price. Okay, that's the second thing that's happening. And then the third thing that's happening between both of those, that relates to both of those, Dr. Doom in the house, is how they're pricing them once you get to the register. All right. So in short, books that aren't priced that are out on the sales floor, books that are priced out on the sales floor, but they're changing it at the register. And then the third thing is for both of those scenarios, how are they then pricing or repricing the books? All right. So I brought up in my video that I personally believe that no books on the sales floor should not be priced. All your books should be priced. And look, I want to make it clear here too. I'm talking about back issue bins. I'm talking specifically about back issue bins. And as you can see in this picture, where is this sign located? Where is it located? Right over the back issue bins. I'm not talking about new issues. I'm not talking about the new issue racks, because sometimes the new issue racks will have like the last few issues behind the most current one. Not talking about that. And I'm not even talking about key issues that are, say, on a wall or in a case or in their own section. All right. I'm specifically addressing back issues. I believe that all books that are out on the sales floor in back issue bins should be priced. I also believe that whatever price is marked on that book that's out on the sales floor should be honored once it is brought to the counter. All right. Now, the third thing, how they're pricing these books. Well, that's more of a complex answer. There's no right or wrong way. But I did say in my video, I said, look, you got to be competitive. You can't just go to eBay and estimate a price from eBay. Now, I'm not saying you can't look at eBay. I think some people watching that video that I made kind of mistook that. eBay is a valid source. I always say, though, what do I always say? Don't use only one. Don't use only one. And another problematic thing with citing eBay is, are you taking the highest sold raw book and not even considering the grade of that book? And you see this book sell for 25 bucks on eBay, but maybe it's a near mint copy and you got like a book that might be a fine, and you're saying, oh yeah, that last one sold for 25 bucks. I'm gonna have to charge you 25 bucks. That's obviously ridiculous. You can't do that. So I can't imagine how long it takes for a shop owner or manager to take a book. So this is what I'm going to assume goes on. You get a book, the shop owner or manager pulls it out. They look at it, they examine it, they do a rough, okay, that's like a fine plus. Let me go on eBay. And what are they going to do? They're going to look through every recent eBay sold to see, because we all know that we can't depend on eBay grades. We can't depend on what sellers say. Sellers will call the book a very fine, and it's like it has a subscription crease in a corner of the page is missing, right? You can't do that. So what's the manager or owner going to do? Go into every little picture and zoom in. There's one listing. Okay, let me look at the next listing. Let me look at the next. How long is this process taking for them to give you a valid price, a valid fair market price? It's just asinine. All right. So, how are they doing this? How are they doing this? Let me tell you why it's a huge problem for me. When I go into a store, I'm a run collector. I will spend an hour or two digging through the back issue bins. Okay. I also am a collector on a budget. I know that for that day I could spend, say, $100. So I know that I can spend 2 hours digging through the back issue bins and grab a stack of books like this big, because I'm looking at books that are maybe $3, $4, maybe $5. And I grab a stack this big, knowing that I'm within my budget. Once I have enough books, I'll count how many are there. I'll add up the price. I might put a couple back if I go over my budget, and I bring it to the counter knowing that this is what I'm buying. Can you imagine going into a store and either doing one of two things? One, spending an hour or two grabbing a stack of books, only to bring them to the counter to have them sit there for another half hour or so trying to price your books out. And then not even knowing if those prices are going to be fair to you going to that store, spending time digging in the back issue bins when you could have, when he's going to price them at the highest eBay sold, and you could have, from the convenience of your home, sat on your couch, not spent gas money, not got dressed for the day. You could have been watching Loki, and you're looking at eBay, and you could have bought them with combined shipping, all from eBay for a cheaper price or the same price. Now, here's the second scenario. You know that they don't price their books, and you know that you need to bring them to the counter. So as somebody for me that has a budget and wants to get a stack like this, what am I going to do? Go find one book that I like, go pick out one book, bring it to them, have a price and say, okay, nah, that's too much. Go back to the bins, find another book or two, bring one or two books. Okay, that one's good. I'll take that one, but that one too much. Go back to the bins. Are you kidding me? No. I'm not going to do that. What does this do? Every scenario that I just explained does what? It makes the LCS obsolete. It makes the LCS obsolete. Now, before I go into comments from my video, I'm going to make one thing clear. I want to make one thing very, very clear here, folks. I am not... I went through, there were some comments, and I'm not trying to put people on blast or be rude. I'm just going to be honest. There were some people that commented on my Instagram post about this and in my YouTube video that were like, man, that's not right. I don't agree with that because it's all about finding deals. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm all about finding deals. But that kind of mentality means that you would rather get over on an LCS than pay a fair market value. Does that make sense? I'm not mad at this practice because I want the ability to go dig through back issue bins and have some LCS owner have outdated prices on his book so I could score a steal of a deal. So I can, find a book that's worth 20 and pay 2 because I'm entitled to it. I'm sorry, that way of thinking is very entitled. And that's not me. That's not my problem here. I want the LCS to have their books at fair market value, at a competitive value. I want the LCS to do their due diligence and take the time to price their books appropriately. If I find a deal, I find a deal. I just want them to run their business ethically. Don't waste my time, and I don't want to waste yours. And at the end of the day, I want the LCS to be able to maximize on their profits, to maximize their revenue stream. And they're going to do that by staying hip to the market, checking eBay sold, checking cover price, checking Mercari, and utilizing all those databases to be able to price their inventory accordingly. Just do it before I waste an hour or two in your store and I bring it up to the register only to find out then that you're charging me more than I could have got it on eBay for. All right? I'm not here advocating against this because I want a deal and I'm mad that I can't go find back issue bins for cheap. That is not my argument whatsoever at all. I have to make that clear. Now, one more thing before I bring up the comments, I want to make this clear as well. I am 100% against repricing. And I'll just leave that at that. Not pricing them is one thing. I don't agree with that. But it's something other than having a price on your book and you bringing it up to the register and saying, nah, I got to charge you more. That's what the guy did to me with the book that was in the dollar bin. Oh, that's $1? That's marked $1? No, I didn't know what was in there. I got to charge you $5. I don't care that you don't know what was in there. You need to know. You own the shop. Do your work or have your employees do the work. Don't let me do it for you. Pay if you want to charge me $5, fine, but pay me my hour's salary. Pay me my minimum wage, my $13 for that hour that I worked. Dig it through your back issue bins to find this $5 book for you that was mispriced and misplaced. Right? I also want to talk about folks that defend this and say, anybody that is so against this doesn't understand business or doesn't understand how hard it is to manage inventory and all this and that. Well, let me tell you something. I worked in retail and sales management for a decade. And then I went and earned multiple business degrees, including one in business management. I'm not saying I know everything. I say that every time. Every time I give you all my background, I'm not saying it to say I am a know-it-all. I'm saying it to give context. This has been my life. There is absolutely no reason that an LCS, large or small, whether they have 500 back issues or 50,000 back issues, there is no reason that you cannot stay on top of the market and stay on top of pricing your back issue books. So here's the ironic thing. There's an LCS in my area that has back issue tons of back issue bins. They're in old bags of boards. Some of them have price tags that aren't what they're like outdated price tags. He says, nope, those I have to look at and bring them to the register. Some of them aren't priced. Some of them are priced. They are filthy. He doesn't take care of them. He never fills his bins. So they're always like bent over and crumpling in the bin. It's filthy in that store. And I've only been in that store a few times, but every time I've been in that store, he's behind the counter eating or playing like solitaire on his computer. But yet, he tells his customers, if you dig through the back issue bins, that price that you see on it is not accurate. You got to bring it up to the counter, and I'm going to price it for you. The first time I went in there, he pulled up eBay sold. 3 times I've been in there, this guy has never left behind his counter and has never been doing anything productive. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not in there 8 hours a day. I'm not. All right. I've heard other people that have frequented that store say the same thing, though. There's no excuse. Comic book stores in general, even the big ones, don't have enough volume to where you cannot manage your inventory. And keep this in mind. If you have high volume, you're going to have a larger labor force. If you have low volume, you're going to have a lower labor force, but you're going to have much more downtime on your hands. You might even have less inventory. And here's another thing that people misunderstand. You don't need to go check. Say you have back issue inventory of 20,000 books. You don't need to go check every single book every day or even every week. You don't. If you're on top of your inventory and filing, you have all your bins labeled DC, Marvel, Independent, Superman, Spider-Man, alphabetical order, and so forth, right? You have it all priced. You have employees or yourself. How long do you spend every day keeping up with the speculative market? You could spend literally 10 to 20 minutes every day keeping up with the speculative market, whether it's what's going on in the Loki show or on Disney Plus or on HBO Max, or whether it's reading your previews magazine and knowing that the depth of Scarlet Witch is coming and what's that going to do to Scarlet Witch's books. 10 to 20 minutes a day. Not much. You all think that the market is so sporadic. I mean, it is, but it's not that much that's going on. If you have an inventory of 20,000 books, there's probably not even 1,000 books that are going to be fluctuating within a week span. It might not even be hundreds. It might just be a couple dozen. So if you're staying up on the speculative market, you know where to go. If you know something's going on with Scarlet Witch, I know off the top of my head what books I need to find. It might be a couple Avengers books. It might be some Vision and Scarlet Witch books. And I'm going to go find them. And it's going to take me no more than probably 10 to 20 minutes to go grab a dozen books that I think might be moving on the market. And then I'm going to bring them behind the counter. I'm going to bring them to either my head grader or my pricer or whoever does it. And they're going to spend a few minutes on each book checking eBay sold, cover price, go collect, Mercari, whatever the case may be. And then I'm going to reprice them. And then I'm going to have my staff go put them back out on the sales floor. It isn't rocket science. It isn't building the pyramids. I have almost 19,000 books in my collection. I have almost 19,000 books in my collection. I know where everything is stored, meaning in my bins. I know where everything is. And if there's a spec on a character or on a book, I could find every book that I needed that pertained to that spec in probably under 10 minutes, maybe even 5. And I have more inventory than a lot of LCSs that are in business. And if I was the owner of an LCS, I would have the same what's the word I'm looking for? The same knowledge of my inventory as I do with the inventory that I have in my own collection. And that's a fact. That is a fact. By the way, I got confirmation from a few folks that this was real. And it was an LCS called Comic Crypt, I believe, in New Jersey. I reached out to the owner. And I invited them on to my show. They read my comment or my message because I sent it via Facebook, and you know how you can see if they read it or not. I received no reply. So if this practice is ethical, if you feel that you are just in these practices, what do you have to hide? And I even told him, look, I'm a no spin person. I have my opinion, but I would respect this individual as a guest. I would play devil's advocate. I would look at both sides of the argument, and I would give him a platform to speak for himself in his business. I am fair like that, and I would respect him as a guest on my show, even though I 100% disagree with his methods. All right. Let's go into a few comments, folks, and then I want to take some comments from you all today, okay? All right, let's see. And again, I apologize, folks. My allergies are really bad right now. My voice is kind of coarse. I'm short on breath, so I'm doing my best to, to deliver vocally to you all today. All right, let's see. There's so many people that are saying, if my LCS did this, I would not be there. I would not shop there anymore. It's sad when someone who runs a business expects its own customers to do the job for them. I like Tom. Oh, shoot. I like Tom's comment right here. Let's look at Tom's comment. Oh, man, what's going on with my my mouse pad? Sorry, guys. Here we go. Okay. Let's see what Tom has to say right here. For work, I have a large territory that I cover. One of the perks is that there are about 10 LCSs that I frequent. I would say that about 70% of the time I walk into an LCS, the employer owner is not doing anything related to the business. Because of this, I have to call BS to the claim that they don't have time to do simple inventory management. Once everything is properly cataloged, it is about an hour a day of inventory management. I agree 100%. Policies like this boil down to simple owner laziness. The problem is that there are people who are passionate about comics, but not passionate about business, opening LCSs, and that's absolutely true. There are so many people that are the owners of LCSs that respectfully probably should have no business running a business. If an LCS has West Coast Avengers 45 in the dollar bin, odds are they own that book. They own that book for 10 to 25 cents, meaning the amount they put into it. So the argument that they are losing money is BS. They are only losing potential profit. And there is a big difference between the two. Tom, thank you for this comment. I agree 100%. Andrew says, if a business goes the extra mile and gives a damn about the customer will tell a few people that to shop there. But if the business shows they don't give a damn, that same customer will go out of their way to tell everyone not to shop there. That people who shop at LCSs tell each other everything. Absolutely fact. And it's not just LCSs. This is public perception, folks. Public perception. And reputation, public reputation of businesses. All right, let's see what we got. Let's see what else we got. All right, Joshua. Joshua says, let me get some water before I go into Joshua's comment. I don't think I've read this one yet, but it seems like it's going to be a good one. I've been a seller on eBay and at shows for almost 30 years, and I always honor my prices. I do my best to check my prices, but every now and then some fall through the cracks. The thing is, in every case where that has happened, I still made profit. Granted, not as much profit as I would have, but I still made a profit. I don't lose any money. I missed out on making more money. But when you think about it, we miss out making more money every time we sell a book, because the next day it could go up in price. Very true. If you are a vendor that is that afraid of missing out on making more money, then you should close your store and just be a collector. Yesterday I was on eBay and I made best offers on two $225 books. For one, I got a counter offer saying that $225 was the lowest they could go. If your lowest price is your list price, then why even add best offer? I'm not going to read the second part of Joshua. I agree with him here, but that's kind of irrelevant. But to his first paragraph, I hear you. Very good point. Very good point. Let's see. Mark here says, I can understand the convenience of eBay, but I sincerely enjoy the hunt, and I never have an issue with going to a comic store. One of the stores I go takes 2 buses and then walks several. Yeah, and I hear you, Mark. I said, I agree, but if I took 2 buses then a walk just to see this sign, saying I would be upset would be an understatement. So again, look, there are beneficial factors of going to the LCS. I'm an advocate of the LCS, but I believe that if the LCS believes that they have the right to not price their books as if they were a brick and mortar retailer or reseller of physical inventory on a sales floor, then they should close their store and be an eBay seller, because that's what they're doing. They're basically saying, I'm an eBay store, but I want you to walk to where I'm at so you can look at me face to face while I price your book for you. Save overhead, stop paying rent and electricity, close your shop down, and sell your inventory on eBay. I'm trying to find a comment that I disagree with. Let's see. A comment that I disagree with. Let's see what Jay Thomas has to say here. I completely agree with you, but I will take it one step further and say that as a business owner or manager, you should know what you have in stock at all times or have a system in place to query it. I agree. You must have a system in place to track all ingoing and outgoing inventory. Absolutely. I have seen a few LCSs that have boxes in the back issues that they have acquired from personal collections or eBay or wherever, and they do not even know what they have, which to me would be an embarrassment. If you're not tracking the item and its price, it should not be on the sales floor. I agree. I agree. Let's see. All right, Boxing Bear says, I sell out of an antique mall. The other day, a guy bought my Spectacular Spidey number 9 for 25 bucks. It has been going for close to $50 or even more, but I honor the price because that is what you should do. I didn't change it in time. His win, fair is fair. Boxing Bear, thank you for sharing that. Let's see. I'm still trying to find a comment that I disagree with. All right, let's see what Gloom Bloom says here. I think it's messed up, but I will say this. This a lot of us has done this to ourselves. I think he's saying, I agree, but a lot of this is because we have done this to ourselves. How many times have you watched a video of someone going into their LCS or to a random LCS they happen to find away on a trip or business and talk about how I caught this play slipping or I got over on these guys? First off, Gloom Bloom, I've never heard anybody say, hey guys, I went to the LCS and caught them slipping or got over. I've never heard that. I've heard, guys, look at this steal that I found at a honey hole, or like, I found this key in the dollar bins. Deals are still out there. And look, I'm not saying that nobody said that. If they're using that verbiage, that's not right. I would never use that verbiage. I caught this play slipping or I got over on them. If somebody is saying that's just silly. But look, you found what you found. But I'll continue here with this comment. They didn't know what they had. Well, yeah, I've heard that. They didn't know what they had. I could somewhat understand if this is real, why some shops are now doing this. And I'm not saying it's right. I don't like this at all. But I said I could somewhat understand. Okay, well, again, Gloom, I appreciate your thoughts. But here's the thing. If shops are realizing that there's a speculative market that's booming and that people are finding deals in their back issue bins, again, how do you resolve that ethically and productively as a business? Do you put up a sign and then go sit behind your counter and wait for your customers to bring up a book and change the price on them, which is borderline illegal? Or not do the work and price them at all and sit there while they're waiting, while they already spent an hour in the store digging for you to price it the highest eBay sold? Or are you going to say, nope, I'm not going to let these people get books out of my inventory for under fair market value anymore. I'm going to do my due diligence and I'm going to put my staff to work and I'm going to make sure I'm staying on top of my inventory. Which one is the right one to do? All right, still trying to find one that I really disagree with. Let's see. All right, I might just have to get to some comments from you all. I swear there was a few that were like in defense that I wanted to address that. All right, guys. Let me get to your comments here. I'm going to pull this out. Woo! I mean, we went through a lot right there. I mean, you know, and like I said, I've been reading through all those comments. I've been reading through my comments on Instagram. There was a lot on Facebook over the week. And the majority of us agree. Some of you seem to just want deals, and that's why you think this is wrong. And like I said, I'm not advocating for that. I'm not advocating for that. That's not where I'm coming from. I'm not here saying, oh, I don't want people staying up on their prices because I just want to find deals in the back issue bins. I don't want an LCS to profit. I want an LCS. I'm a businessman. I believe in the free market, the so-called free market. I want LCSs to succeed. I don't want eBay to be the future or Mercari to be the future of comic books. I don't want to live in a world where we don't have LCS stores. I do not. But I do believe, and I'm going to state this, and I'm going to go to some of your guys' comments. I do believe that if this becomes more widespread and more LCSs start doing this, it's going to drive customers away more and more from the brick and mortar LCS. All right. And my point is this. We already live in a world where retail is dying. I'm not talking about comic books. I'm talking about everything. Every industry. Retail is dying. Why? Because we can be at home on our phone, on our couch, in our bed, sitting on the toilet, sitting in a passenger seat of a car, going who knows where, and we can buy anything that we want from our fingertips. Free shipping on a lot of stuff too. Deals from Amazon Prime where you don't even have to pay shipping and you can get it the next day. Sometimes you can find better deals for key books on Facebook Marketplace or eBay or Mercari and whatnot. And I know that many of us want the LCS experience. We want to be able to go into the store, flip through the books, feel the books, talk to shop owners, shop staff, talk to fellow collectors. We don't get that with going on eBay or Mercari. We don't. But I'm going to tell you right now, as somebody that always supports my local shops, that never wants them to go away. If all my shops in my area did this, I would never visit any one of them ever again. And I would get my books from my comic shop. I try to get the best deals on my keys from eBay, Mercari, Facebook, whatever the case may be. And that's just a fact. It's just a fact. And when you talk about back issues, you got to be competitive. So I'm not mad. I'm not sitting here saying, oh, LCS is, I think a lot of people saw my video and they're just thinking, yeah, if my LCS price is by eBay, I'm not going, like, that's too black and white. You can use eBay, but just don't solely use eBay. And I'm talking back issues, not keys. If a standard key is $4, if a standard back issue is $4, and you could find it on eBay for $3, but you have to pay $5 shipping, you're very in the right as the LCS to keep that book priced at $4, maybe even $5. But you got to understand too that if people are buying random back issues on eBay for a few bucks more than what you're selling them at for $3, you got to understand that many buyers are looking at the convenience of not leaving their home. So one thing that you can do is try to price your books as competitive to eBay as you want and see how they move. See how they move. Because if they're high and too high and people are flipping through and they're like, I could buy that on eBay right now for $1 cheaper or the same price. If you're not moving them, you know what you can do? You can lower the price, or you can have sales. And I think that's a good medium here. It's a good middle ground. Price your back issue books competitive with online and eBay, even if they're random run fillers. But if they're not moving, have monthly sales or quarterly sales, 35% off, 50% off back issues. A1 Comics does it all the time in my area. Comic Command Center does it all the time. And I've always told you this. I love A1 Comics, but I only buy their back issues, well, mostly, when there's a sale. Why? Because I know that's when I can maximize my value and make it worth it for me as a buyer. Who's happy? Your day-to-day customers are happy, and the people that take advantage of the sales are happy. And A1 Comics is moving their inventory. That's for damn sure. But guess what? Everything on the floor is priced. Everything on the floor is priced. Rage 508, what is going on? Appreciate you being here today. Dr. Love Box, I hate when you buy a book on eBay or something and then you get hit with the, sorry, that book is sold already and cancel the order. Dr. Love Box, that just happened to me the first time a couple weeks ago. I made a offer on a book. They accepted it. The next day, they're like, oh, sorry, that was already won in an auction. And I was like, no, it wasn't. I know exactly what you did. I wasn't born yesterday. Just be honest. He never replied back to me. PQ, old school LCS only repriced once a year when Overstreet came out. Trending books is still a new thing to some. Yeah, PQ, definitely. But, you know, hey, like I said, I'm not sitting here saying, oh, LCS should only price their books once a year. Price them accordingly. Price them when you need to. Like I said this in my video too, if I was a shop owner and I was watching that, what was it, episode 4 or 5 of WandaVision, and I saw the end credit scene of White Vision, you know what I would have did? I would have known who was opening the store the next day, because it would have been like 12:40 in the morning after I watched it that Thursday night. I would have texted my opening staff and said, hey, yo, guys, we got White Vision. Go to the back issue bins before we open. Pull out Avengers 45. Leave them behind the counter. Give them to so-and-so. Give them to the shift lead or the manager, or save them for me when I come in to reprice them. Or we're going to hold those for a week until the market, you know, gets to a nice peak level to where we're going to price them and put them back on the sales floor, or maybe put them on the key wall. That's what I would have did. And if I didn't do that and my staff wasn't proactive and I had it priced for $4 and somebody brought it up the next day and it said $4 on it, I would have been like, good, fine. They got it for $4. Because that is how you operate a business. Too many businesses are so concerned with the immediate revenue and the immediate profit, and they're not concerned with long-term profits and the residual revenue from return customers. Like the guy that from the shop I went to that didn't sell me that book for $1 as price and wanted $5 for it. He lost out on a difference of $4, but ultimately lost out on hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars that I would have spent there as long as I lived in this area. So because he wanted in that moment $4 extra, his profits, his revenue over the next few years, accumulative, dropped probably by a couple thousand at least. I would have dropped a couple thousand in that store over the next few years. Yep. But he lost it. He lost it over $4 because he didn't want to price his books accordingly. Because when WandaVision come out, he didn't have his son that works there or himself after hours to go say, hey, son, go look in the dollar bins in the V section for Vision and Scarlet Witch and go see if there's any Vision and Scarlet Witch books that we could pull out and reprice. That is on them. Ray says, like you said, a shop owner, it is his duty to be on top of the market. You wouldn't leave your safe on your lawn open overnight, would you? Decent analogy. Tom says, I once bought a DC horror comic at my LCS, and it turned out it was listed on eBay, and the shop had to tell a buyer, sorry, sold. Yes, you're right, Tom. I know it does happen, but this situation that happened to me, it was bogus. It was bogus. I'm not going to go into details, but I know there are those people that actually have like LCSs that sell on eBay, and they'll double dip their books, right? Anthony Shortbox, I rarely does my LCS have books priced. If they aren't priced, he uses Overstreet Price Guide and ballparks the price. I can get with that. Anthony, you're right. I think it sounds like his pricing method is fair, but the way that I shop, unless he was giving me and not that I want it, I'm just saying, the way that I shop, unless I was getting books so much cheaper than I could get anywhere else, even if he was pricing fair, I wouldn't go there because that's not how I shop. I'm not going to spend time unless I was looking for one specific book. But if I'm looking to go in there and to fill some holes in my runs, I'm not going there just because I need to know what the prices of these books are before I go up to the counter. Mojo, if I had a shop, I just overprice everything and haggle with customers. Mojo, look, if they're priced and they're overpriced and you can haggle, that's your right. And I would say that there's nothing wrong with that. And people could go in there, look in your back issue bins and look at the price and say, this fool's crazy. I ain't paying that. I'm out. Peace. On to the next one. Right? Nowhere bound. Appreciate it. Appreciate you being here. Thank you. Brick Hunter, my LCS doesn't do any of that BS. However, they don't haggle on price of book. Take it or leave it. I'm good with that. Hey, well, yep. It's transparent. Let's see. Thank you. By haggle, I mean be comfortable with being comfortable with being talked down. Right. So I got you, Mojo. I knew what you were saying for sure. So look, everyone, we only got a few more minutes. I got to get ready for the Canon. We are just 35 minutes away. Again, I want to remind everyone, X11's in the house. I got to give a big shout out to X11 before I finish my sentence. Lack of integrity seems to be the issue. I agree, X11. And I really want to have a roundtable discussion with business owners about this. I really do. If you all aren't subscribed to us at Comic Book Canon yet, check us out. We're going live in 34 minutes. We have an awesome, awesome show tonight. A lot of good MCU Disney Plus news. Special guest, Sith Lord Lee from Spytix in the house. I want to see each and every one of you over there. In closing, I want to say this, folks. And I appreciate you all bearing with me being a little more calm today. Because I'm low on breath and allergies and everything. I want everyone to understand. I don't expect everyone to just flat out agree with me or to flat out just clearly see everything that I'm saying. And there are many layers to this. But I need you all to understand, to get out of your head, this isn't about being entitled to finding deals of books for pennies of what they're worth. I need you all to know that. I need you all to know that. Yeah, grilled cheese, and cheese comes from a cow, not made for human consumption. I want you all to know that it's not about that. It's clearly about my point of view is in the best interest of the business. It is. Some of you might not be seeing that. My take on this is for the best interest of the business. I'm going to give you one example before I head out of here. I used to manage Sprint, the cell phone company that was just bought out by T-Mobile. Before I was the manager, I was brought on as a lead. I never worked and I didn't even own a smartphone at that point. But I ended up being the top in sales month after month. And I was always honest. I was never about that car salesman pitch. I was always honest. And I had people coming from out of town. I changed stores. I went from one store to the next when I got promoted to manager. And I had people follow me to that other store. They would drive across towns to come see me because I was honest. And for you all know, if you know anything about cell phone companies, carrier companies, they make their money not off the phones. They don't make their money off of the phone. They make their money off of the contract, off of the 2-year mobile data contract. And they make their money off of the residual revenue that they bring in from lifetime members or members that stick around for years that are contracted in. There's a contractual agreement. So I wasn't what they call a hard closer. There was somebody that was a hard closer. You know what he would do? He would BS them all day long. He was that smooth talking car salesman. He was selling smartphones to old men and old ladies, little old ladies that only wanted a flip phone. But he was so smooth. He would basically convince them to get something that they didn't want. He would literally lie. And he got boosted up the ladder and talked about, oh, this guy's so great. But you know what happened with all those phones that he sold? His return rate, his cancellation rate, because you can cancel your contract within the first 30 days, or this is how it was when I worked there. His cancellation rate was over 50%. It was over 50%. My cancellation rate was under 10%, month after month. Do you know what happened? We were a franchise. We were called Elite Wireless by Sprint. We were a franchise. We weren't corporate, but we had to. If you all know franchises, we have to work under corporate structure, and we get audited by corporate. And because his cancellation rate was so high, we got audited. We got audited by corporate, and we almost got shut down. And that was before I was a manager. But the owner, the general manager, the owner of Elite almost got into some big trouble. So my point is this. You can't run a shop wanting that quick fix. You have to run an ethical business. You have to understand your customers. You have to do what's best for your customers, because in turn, especially in this day and age where consumers understand purchasing power, they understand this is a free market. They understand that they have options. Well, if you're not giving me what I want, I could go on eBay, or I could go to this LCS, or I could go to mycomicshop.com. It is going to do LCSs more benefits going to be more beneficial to shops to do their due diligence now, to provide a product in a business model and a business culture to their consumers, to their customer bases, that's going to allow them to be more successful long term. And Shadow Rat, thank you so much for joining as a YouTube member. I saw that. I apologize I didn't get to that. Comic Man Andy in the house. What's going on? Ranger class. So that's my final word on this, everyone. If more and more LCSs do this, it's going to drive people away. And I don't want that to happen. I don't. And Ranger class, that's absolutely right. I don't even think it's a point of view. It's about knowing how to run a business properly. It's business 101. Absolutely 100% fact. That's why Helen Keller is not a tour guide. Customer service is key. Absolutely. So this is a topic that I think we'll probably keep talking about. I'm going to follow this closely. I really would like any LCS owner that does this or manager. I want to welcome them to my show. I want to welcome them to a Friday Night Live where we can talk about this. I'm passionate, but I'm very respectful. I'll listen to them. I will listen to them and give them a table, and I will try to see from both sides. With that being said, everyone, that is the show today. I hope I saved some of my voice and my energy for Combo Book Canon. Thank you all so much for being here today. Thank you to those that for the super chats, and thank you for all of those that joined as YouTube members today. I really appreciate you all. We will be having the contest at the end of the month. We will be having the YouTube member contest. We will be having the Patreon only contest at the end of the month. So look out for that. And again, for those that are interested, click the join button below. It's only $1.99 a month to become a YouTube channel member. It's $3.99 for the Patreon member. You guys can always click those links and check out all the benefits that you get. You can always message me at my email or private message me on Instagram if you have any questions. To all of my viewers and subscribers, thank you so much for being here today. Nerds being geeks, thank you so much all. We are 25 minutes away from the Canon. I hope to see each and every one of you there. Peace.